Good morning. Today is Sunday, July 5th, and I'm going to be honest, I've taken a break from posting off and on, but I'm going to try and be more intentional. So here we are today. Now, I recently completed a meal planning and grocery savings workshop and wanted to share some of the most helpful takeaways. One thing I appreciated about this workshop is that it acknowledged a very important truth. Not every tip works for every family, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection or rigid systems. The goal is finding what fits your life, your budget, and your season. So, I'm going to share with you some highlights from each speaker and how I personally plan to apply or not apply their advice in my own home. So, Christine, the Frugal Fit Mom, talks about cutting your grocery bill in half. Christine focused on foundational habits that make the biggest financial impact. Her core tips included learning how to cook instead of relying on frozen or prepaid meals, build every meal around a protein, a starch, and a vegetable, shop sales first and meal plan based on weekly ads, keep a well stocked pantry with essentials like flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, spices, rice and beans, canned vegetables. And for me, this felt practical, realistic, and sustainable. Building meals around simple components and planning around sales is something our family can absolutely start implementing more intentionally. Now, Amy Cross, she focused on reducing food waste and making produce last longer. She shared practical ways to prevent food waste, something that directly saves money. The biggest takeaway was her produce washing method. A fourth of a cup, 5% distilled white vinegar, 10 cups of water. Soak fruits and vegetables for 2 minutes. This helps kill mold spores and bacteria that causes produce to spoil quickly. She also introduced the idea of fridge buddies, where certain fruits and vegetables help each other last longer, such as pairing lemons and avocados. Additional tips included batch cooking, freezing items before they go bad. This was one of the most immediately actionable tips for our household. So, Erin Chase, gosh, these dogs, sorry, freezer meals that save time and money. Erin shared freezer meal strategies that combine convenience with cost savings. Her approach includes buying meat only when it's on sale, for example, $2.99 chicken breasts, shopping wholesale markets like BJ's, Sam's Club, or Costco, portioning meat into freezer bags, adding seasonings or sauces like buffalo chicken before freezing, and these freezer meals can later be dumped straight into a crock pot. With our new garage freezer, this is something I was genuinely excited to start doing, and I did. It felt manageable and realistic for our family. Some recipes were really good, some not so good. That's okay. Relearning. The chicken ranch tacos, one of our favorites though. Kimmy Hughes, pantry organizer, she focused on pantry organization using containers to help stretch food and budgets. I'll be honest, this part didn't really resonate with me personally. While her intention wasn't to encourage spending more, it felt like I would need to purchase additional containers, which isn't aligned with my current goals. Therefore, not doing it. That said, though, if pantry organization is something you enjoy or want to explore, she offers great resources and content on YouTube. Brittany, I'm going to mess up her last name, Giaconti? I don't know. Planning around ingredients, not recipes. Brittany offered a flexible and budget friendly approach by planning around ingredients instead of strict recipes. Her family system includes choosing one protein for the week, whether it be chicken, beef, or pork, selecting two starches like rice or potatoes, and choosing 1 to 3 vegetables, creating meals using those ingredients. Now, while using only one protein per week won't work for our family, the concept of planning around ingredients and sales absolutely does. This feels adaptive rather than restrictive. Jen, the homemaker lifestyle, seasonal meal planning. Now, she discussed seasonal meal planning where the same meal plan is used weekly for an entire season. This approach won't work for my family. We get tired of eating the same meals repeatedly. However, focusing on seasonal fruits and vegetables is something I can fully support. Seasonal produce is often less expensive, fresher, better for your overall health. And this is a takeaway I plan to implement without adopting the full system. Now, Megan Fox, batch cooking and smart leftovers. Megan focused on batch cooking and intentional leftovers. Her tips included batch cooking breakfasts like pancakes and waffles, storing them in the freezer for quick weekday access, and packing lunches the night before. Cooking food you love and repurposing leftovers. For example, roast a whole chicken, use leftovers for quesadilla, soups, or casseroles. This was one of my favorite sections and feels honestly very doable. So ultimately, one of the biggest lessons from this workshop is that personalization matters. Not every tip will fit every family, budget, or lifestyle, and that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. The real question is, what are you willing to try? Even small changes like washing produce properly, planning around sales, or batch cooking one meal per week can add up to meaningful savings over time. Progress doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from doing something consistently. As always, let's end the day with a positive affirmation, and it is my challenges bring me better opportunities. I hope you all have a great Sunday. I'm going to go watch these dogs play.